This is Wild Blessings Teaching Tuesday. I always start my class with a little bit of herbing around. So I foraged for these last night in the dark. It's always easy to find chickweed because it's so cold. It feels like refrigerated. Now, I don't usually recommend that you do what I did and have it all in one container, but I have a purpose, and that is because I wanted to show you how to garble. And so garbling is where you are doing quality control and going through your groceries to make sure that there's no bugs and there's no poisonous plants, so there's no dead plants or bug eaten. So this is chickweed, and we're going to do a whole class on this one because it's such an incredible gift. But one of the things I love about it is that it is a refrigerant. So it's useful for so many skin conditions, diaper rash, amazing. I could tell stories. All right, so here's more chickweed. It's got the opposite branching. It's got little hairs going up the side of the stem, and then it goes around to the other side and goes up that side and goes around 45-degree angle. It's pretty fun to look at with your jeweler's loupe. I hope you all have bought one of these by now. Now this is purple dead nettle, and I'm making a wild smoothie, a wild green smoothie today. And I don't want you to put purple dead nettle into a sweet smoothie, so this is going to go into probably a frittata. Has more of a savory flavor, which is great for a frittata, but not so great for a smoothie. So I'm just separating them out. And when I do my forage to feast, I have my students always collect and then do this very thing. And then I have pictures of all garbled and on display where everything's sorted and organized and cleaned. And this is nettle. Look at those serrated edges of the margin. So we're going to make a nettle and chickweed smoothie this morning. So basically I've just got nettle, a little bit of mint. So do you want some mint? Let's put some mint. We'll put some mint in our smoothie today, just a little bit. And okay, so here's my nettle. All right. And then I do have one more surprise in here. This is ground ivy. And it's got these beautiful, it's in the Lamiaceae mint family. And it has these beautiful little irregular purple inflorescence, the flowers. And it's very aromatic, just like all mints. It has the square stem and the opposite branching. So this is, I think I'll put this in our smoothie too. So, all right. So you get the idea. Oh, and here's an example of something I don't want in my smoothie. This is the bittercress that we talked about 3 weeks ago, and now it's gone to seed. And so these are called the siliques. And when they get dry enough, they'll just explode and send their seeds sometimes, you know, many yards away. And they're so much fun to play with. But I don't want this in my smoothie, and I don't even want it in my frittata. So this is just part of garbling, sorting, quality control, and that's my herbing around for today. We'll go ahead and make the smoothie now as part of our cooking demo. And I'm not making a wild tea today because we're drinking the smoothie. So I'm going to take about a cup of my nettles and put them into my blender. And this is such a great way to let food be your medicine and medicine be your food, because the nutrients in these greens are so intense and so high. The vitamins and minerals are off the chain. And so that's what our bodies need to heal and to be their very best. Is we need to have the building blocks of real nutrition. And so this has not been trucked across 3,000 miles to get here. I just picked it last night. And so the enzymes are fresh, and it's so nutritious for our cells. So it's not about filling our stomachs, it's about feeding our cells. And then I'm going to add in some chickweed. And I'm saving these other things for my frittata. Oh, let's just put a little bit of mint, just for fun. Mint's really strong, though. Oh, man, it smells so good. So anyway, it is so spring. And I just was out there and saw my first tulip poplar leaf coming out. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so exuberant about this season. I love spring. So I'm putting some emulsifying. If all I did was just have the greens and water, it would taste really grassy and not very palatable.
but by adding a little bit of pineapple and some frozen banana and frozen strawberries, freezing them first gives me kind of like an ice cube effect, and it gels it better. And then I'm going to add water. That's all there is to it. So what does it take? 30 seconds to make a smoothie. And so this is probably the easiest way to get your nutrition. And you can disguise it with all of this good fruit. You can use mangoes. You can use any type of fruit, especially if you can find wild fruit like blackberries and wild blueberries and stuff. That would be great. But this is what I had on hand, so that's what I'm using. All right. You can always add more water or whatever it's missing. So I'll let Peggy try it. You want to try it? Okay. So it's nice and thick because I had everything frozen. Do you want to come up here and try it? No? All right, just have to talk loud so you can tell me what you think.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it good?
To know that there's so much good nutrition in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So, I mean, you could go to the store and you could buy spinach or kale and make a green smoothie that way, and that's fine. But this is free for the knowing and the picking. Welcome to my wild kitchen. Today we're going to have such an adventure in deep nutrition and wild ways. And so it's kind of like recovering your heritage, because this is the way people lived for millennia since time began. And so it's really a privilege to me to live this way, and also to invite you to join your ancestors and join me in this process. Welcome to all of our new members. I'm so excited that you're here. Mark, thank you for inviting your friends. And I pray this is a blessing to you. The scriptures say, "O Lord, how many and varied are your works. In wisdom you've made them all. The whole earth is full of your riches." So today I hope you feel a little wealthier and a little wiser. And so we always start off our class with herbing around, which is my term for busy work with herbs and plants. And so my hands are always busy. My friend Kim is here, and her hands are always busy too, but she's always knitting or crocheting or making some amazing fabric thing or whatever. She's just incredible with her creativity. My hands are always busy too, but I don't know how to knit or crochet. So what I'm doing at the moment is I am taking redbud flowers off of their stem, because it's going to go into Jason's smoothie, which is what we're going to have for our tea this morning. And I'll share some with Kim and see what she thinks. The other thing that I'm herbing around with is this morning, Max and I went to the dandelion fields to get dandelions for Kim and my lunch. We're going to have dandelion fritters, and also I'm making dandelion wine. So I need to make like gallons of what I'm doing now. So what you do if you want to make soda or wine or syrups or something is you want to hold it by the sepals and just take off each individual flower and plop it into some water that's warm, has been boiling, but is now, not as hot, because I don't want to kill the constituents that are in this amazing plant. We did an entire hour on the benefits of dandelion, which I'm not going to talk about now, but I'll put it in the comments below so you can see. All right. So see how I'm taking the calyx or this sepals in the back, and I'm just kind of holding that and pulling off each blossom. There's 150 complete ray flowers with all of the sex parts, the female and male parts, in each and every little ray flower, which is why you end up with 150 seeds. So one of the things that kind of blew my mind is that the dandelions have opened and closed 5 times, and now the field was full of seeds, which is fine, because what you can do is you can collect these seeds and spread them in your yard. Just make sure you get them where they haven't been sprayed. I collected a lot of seeds this morning, and I'm excited about that, because this, to me, when I see that, I just see life, and I see food, and I see God's provision, and He makes sure that they aren't going anywhere. They've got little screw type seeds that just screw right into the earth after they've flown in their parachutes to life, to begin life again. And I've seen them growing in concrete sidewalks. So they're here to stay. Just don't poison them. So I'm going to put these aside for now, and making a tea, and every week we share tea together. But this time I'm actually making a smoothie, and this is Jason's morning smoothie, and I'm going to be adding to it some redbud flowers, and I'm adding all of this Japanese knotweed, which I'd already chopped up. Japanese knotweed, we talked about last week. We spoke about it for a good hour. It is a dreadable edible. It is so invasive. It literally is taking over this planet, but it is the highest thing on the planet with resveratrol in it, which stands for reverse it all. And so this plant is absolutely delicious and nutritious and higher in value than you can even imagine. But the only time that you can actually harvest it is now in the early spring when it's like shin high. And when it gets a little bit taller, like it'll get 15 feet tall, you can only get the very tips if they're still in the stalk stage, which look like that. So these tips are meristematic and they're still tender, but really, the only time I've ever harvested it is now, and I go every day and harvest more because that huge root system is going to keep on going. So the more I cut it, the more it goes. It's not going anywhere. So I threw this in with I have a protein mix in here and some oat milk, and I added some chocolate and frozen banana, some frozen pineapple. And the reason why I'm doing that is because my husband is really into things tasting good. And so if you can disguise wild edibles, because sometimes they don't have the greatest, sometimes they're bitter, but we need the bitter, then disguise it. So this is really disguised, but it is going to be such an amazing smoothie that he's going to enjoy.